Hello, this is a short ELF video clip. We are revisiting the Chanterelle Forest, a community forest cut block that was logged 2016 and 17. And we're here to revisit and re-look at a significant western white pine tree that we identified when the forest was still standing. And we're going to have a look to see how it's holding up after the logging. And the tree there is in the background, that trunk, single tree that's standing on its own. It's a western white pine. They're endangered, they're on the yellow list. And this particular tree was a species of the white pine that we identified, measured, reported to the Big Tree Registry that UBC Forestry Department maintains, and it turned out to be the largest western white pine recorded on the Sunshine Coast. Not saying that there aren't larger ones out there, but that was the largest one recorded to date. So you can see there's a culvert emptying water from the wet zone above, emptying in a substantial amount of water. And this water course or stream is heading down directly towards the pine. Now we're going to walk along and get closer to the tree and see if this water isn't going to be affecting the stability of the tree. In the meantime, you're going to get some pictures of the clear cut size, the amount of slash left behind, and so forth. We were in favor, of course, of seeing this whole forest protected. It was unique, had a lot of interesting features. It was a intact, mature forest, so it was a little bit of hand logging of the larger cedars down at the lower end of the block there. But for the most part, it was a mature or what they call a fire disturbed mature forest. So it was recovering nicely from that 1860s fire. And even though they did end up logging it in a situation like this where you have a wet zone, we would have thought that good forestry management would have called for a nice buffer around this stream course, right from the top to the bottom. The bottom there, you can see there is a decent buffer, not so good on the right hand side, but fairly good on the left hand side. But why didn't they create the buffer all the way back to the beginning of the wet zone at that culvert that we saw? So as we get closer here, you know, this, if there was a buffer here, there'd be less water entering this stream, and this stream actually ends up getting into, or meeting Wilson Creek further down here, which there's several hundred meters below here. There's a significant landslide. So I'm just running this video. We're getting closer to the tree, and the water is kind of backing up here. And when we came and measured this tree, there was no water around the base of it. So now the base is saturated with water on all sides. The trunk is looking a little worse for wear. There's been branches snapped off, and with a more exposed trunk, this tree's going to sway, the top could snap, and it's not going to be in very good standing in the next year or two, and could possibly well blow down, especially with all this increased water at its base. And there is a slight lean to it. See if we can get around to the other side. There's the extent of the cutting up on the north side of the block. And you can see these smaller trees were cut by a feller buncher. There's another one. And as the feller buncher was taking this small tree, the blade caught the edge of the side here of this beautiful western white pine and damaged it. And it probably caused this bark removal here, and it's starting to sap out to try and repair the damage there. So yeah, they couldn't even help themselves from cutting this small tree here, and they got too close and they damaged this significant tree. So this tree, like I said earlier, is registered at the Big Tree Registry at the UBC Faculty of Forestry. But now it's in a pretty sad situation here, and we're predicting that it blows down. It's got probably another year or two before it goes down. So that's it. Short little video taking you back to quite a different landscape here from what we first saw when we discovered this beautiful forest in 2014.